Do you want to get rich? Then stop working just for the paycheck. That's mistake number one, keeping millions stuck in the same place for years. Working only for money is like rowing a boat with one paddle. You go in circles and never move forward. Most people choose high-paying jobs that offer no growth, no skill development, and no equity. At first, it feels smart. The bank account grows, the praise comes in, your parents are proud. But over time, you hit a ceiling. Meanwhile, those who choose lower pay in exchange for valuable experience or equity are planting seeds that will bloom years down the road. The difference? One is just earning money. The other is building assets. Every millionaire I know chose the harder path early on, and that's exactly what unlocked their wealth later. It's about becoming someone of increasing value, not just on paper, but in the market and in life. You're not just being paid for what you do today, you're being paid for who you're becoming tomorrow. One of the biggest blocks to building wealth is the obsession with looking rich before actually being rich. Buying a luxury lifestyle without financial stability is like decorating a house that's about to collapse. It's common to see people driving fancy cars, wearing designer brands, and vacationing in exotic places, all funded on credit. These appearances are tempting, but behind them lie debt, stress, and financial fragility. While many flex on social media, true millionaires quietly build assets behind the scenes. The truth is harsh but simple. You can't live like royalty and build wealth at the same time. Real wealth doesn't show up in your Instagram feed. It grows silently through smart investments month after month. If you want financial freedom, swap instant gratification for long-term value. That dream car? Save it for when your investments pay for it without touching your savings. Buying status is easy. Building freedom is rare. There's a silent trap that many fall into when trying to build wealth, believing they have to do everything themselves. It's common to think that if you want something done right, you have to do it alone. But the truth is, no great fortune was ever built in isolation. The wealthy understand that time is limited, and delegation is a multiplier. Elon Musk, for example, didn't build all his companies alone. He brought together brilliant minds, built teams, and scaled through collaboration. The same goes for small businesses. Trying to be a one-person army is like driving a car with the handbrake on. You might move forward, but the effort is exhausting. The key is to find people who complement your skills, whether by hiring, partnering, or seeking expert help. When you realize you don't have to know everything, but instead surround yourself with those who do, your financial growth accelerates. Wealth isn't born from isolation. It's built through the power of many. One of the sneakiest ways to sabotage your financial growth is by listening to too many people. When everyone around you has a different opinion, invest here, quit and start that, this makes money, that doesn't. Your brain shuts down. That's cognitive overload. You're not lazy. You're paralyzed because you don't know which direction to take. The more advice you absorb, the harder it is to filter what actually matters. The result? Zero action. That's why, instead of listening to everyone, choose who you listen to very carefully. Seek real mentors, people who already built what you want to build. Define your destination and only allow advice that moves you closer to it. This turns noise into guidance. Clarity gives you the power to say no to 90% of distractions and focus entirely on the 10% that truly changes your life. Ego is one of the greatest enemies of wealth and the hardest one to spot. As long as you care more about looking smart than actually learning, you'll stay stuck. Ego-driven people think they already know enough, that they don't need help, that they're too good to start over. That's where their game ends. They ignore advice, resist feedback, and overlook important details because they're convinced they're always right. It's like trying to build an empire blindfolded. In contrast, people who get rich have one powerful trait: strategic humility. They're not afraid to say, "I don't know," but they're eager to learn. They understand that every time they sit down to listen to someone wiser, they're gaining years of insight in just a few minutes. While ego says, I've got this, the millionaire mindset says, show me how to do it better. That simple shift is what separates people who only want wealth from those who actually build it. Some people go through life holding a magnifying glass. Every time something goes wrong, they zoom in and point fingers. The government, the boss, the economy, their parents, the algorithm, anyone but themselves. Over time, that magnifying glass becomes a mental prison. Because every time you blame something outside of you, you're also giving away your power. You're saying, I'm not in control. I can't change this. I'm just a victim. But self-made millionaires do the exact opposite. They trade the magnifying glass for a mirror. Instead of asking, who did this to me? They ask, what can I do with this now? That mindset shift changes everything. When you take full responsibility, you stop being a hostage and start becoming the architect of your life. It's uncomfortable at first because it means facing your own mistakes. But it's also incredibly freeing because it shows you can act, adjust, start over, and build real wealth. There's a quiet place where most dreams go to die, the comfort zone. It's cozy, familiar, and safe. But it's also limited, stagnant, and eventually suffocating. The biggest enemy of your financial growth isn't failure, it's standing still. Because while you're not moving, the world keeps going. And if you don't evolve, you get left behind. Most people are stuck in routines that no longer challenge them, jobs that no longer teach them, and patterns that slowly drain their time and energy. The scariest part? They don't even notice. They think they're living life, but they're really just looping through the same motions. Millionaires see life as an open field. Every step outside their comfort zone is new ground gained. They test, they fail, they learn, they adapt. Not because they're fearless, but because they know real growth never happens in the safe zone. If you want to get rich, you have to let go of waiting until you feel ready. Because the truth is simple, you only grow when you move. Most people think getting rich is all about earning more. But the truth is, wealth begins by avoiding the right mistakes. It's not just about doing what works. It's about stopping what holds you back. Working just for money. Living a lifestyle you can't afford. Trying to do everything yourself. Getting lost in too many opinions. Letting your ego run the show. Blaming the world. And above all, staying still. These 7 habits are like invisible anchors. And if you don't cut them loose, no matter how hard you try, you'll stay stuck. So ask yourself this. What if instead of chasing perfection, you just started by removing one of these today? How much could that change the next 5 years of your life? Remember, millionaires aren't made by giant leaps, but by small, consistent decisions. So the question isn't if you'll change your life, it's when. And the best answer to that is right now.